Meanwhile,
store, only instead of staying ripe for long periods of time, they're crafted by the
Fortnite, Epic Games, Fortnite, please add Space Marine to the freaking game. Can you please give us some Space Marines for the Battle Royale? Because I would pay some good money for it and go play Fortnite. Alright, in preparation for the next Space Marine game coming out, Space Marine 2, basically, I am excited about that. I'll be playing that and streaming that. I'm going to be starting to go to Kick. I'm going to start a Kick account because it seems like it has a better deal than Twitch being 50-50. So they say it's Kick is 95 to 5. So basically we get 95 of whatever you guys donate and revenue that we earn there. So I hope you guys help me out here and become a Kick partner if we can. So I'll be transferring there for live streams of video games. The live streams will be uploaded here if it's not permanent there to the archive channel, of course, you know. So this is another Russian Badger video. We all know this one because I've seen it 3 years ago. So I'm coming back to this one and I'll be enjoying it very fondly. Especially I'm going to be playing Space Marine 2. So for the Emperor, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine. So question to you guys before we start the video. Which is your favorite Space Marine faction? Including Chaos, if you guys are heretics. I love role-playing that. Aside from that, my favorite are the Blood Angels because Sanguinius is considered one of the best. Or actually, by Horus himself, it should have been him. The best of the best. Let me check out the quote here. I have it on my phone because I love the history of the Blood Angels and how they became to being. That Sanguinius, it should have been him. He has the vision and strength to carry us to victory, and the wisdom to rule once victory is won. For all his aloof coolness, he alone has the Emperor's soul in his blood. Each of us carries a part of our father within us, whether it is in hunger for battle, his psychic talent, or his determination to succeed. Sanguinius holds it all. It should have been his. War Master Horus praises his brother, Primarch Sanguinius. Even Horus himself praised Sanguinius. And in truth is, he should have been the War Master. Sanguinius should have been the War Master for the entire freaking Space Marine legions, in truth. Or maybe because the Emperor chose Horus because he was the first one to be saved or be found by the Emperor. So, in the Emperor's name, to forward, Blood Angels.
I came here to do 2 things and 2 things only. Purge heretics and steal property. And I already stole your property, so let's do this.
I love the Blood Ravens because I play Dawn of War. You're gonna see the turbo nerd in me in this freaking video. So, GW, I did not animate this. This is a video game, so you'd have no right to do something to us unkindly. The Blood Ravens, I followed their entire story from Dawn of War to Dawn of War 3. Yes, I bought Dawn of War 3, of course, because I want a closure to the story of Gabriel Angelos, the best space magpie. That's the joke, because they often take so much war gear from everywhere, they even steal it. So, it's kind of a running joke at this point.
Cease your heresy! For the Emperor!
Welcome to the grim darkness of the future, where fun isn't allowed, happiness is banned, peace doesn't exist, and there's only war.
Abandon reason! No, only war!
In this war, it's us versus them. Us being the Imperial.
I never asked the question about that one Space Marine screaming. Was he a freaking Black Templar chaplain? Because the skull decoration on the helmet usually are chaplains.
Of man, led by the almighty Emperor himself.
There is no shelter for those who oppose the Imperium of Man.
And them being anybody that isn't us. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just call them Xenos.
Xenos.
And what's the only thing defending us from them, you might ask?
Space Marines!
Get off my ship, Space Marine! Space Marine! Space Marine!
genetically modified, just like the vegetables at the grocery store, only instead of staying ripe for long periods of time, they're crafted by the...
Fortnite, Epic Games, Fortnite, please add Space Marine to the freaking game. Can you please give us some Space Marines for the Battle Royale? Because I would pay some good money for it and go play Fortnite if you want to. But I'm just saying Fortnite. It's an IP. It's an IP that you can afford to invest in, because there are a few of us here who enjoy Warhammer. Please, I want it. I really want it. I want it for Fortnite.
the Emperor to purge heretics.
Die!
We're talking 2 hearts. We're talking 3 lungs. We're talking night vision.
That's the
We're
physiology.
talking 8 foot tall, 800-pound monsters that look like Hulk Hogan ate Boogie 2988 and covered himself in a steel suit of armor the size of a Range Rover.
We are the bringers of death!
Think of them as religion-fueled death machines hell-bent on exterminating any race that isn't human, while also not being racist.
Racist? Space Marines aren't racist. We love all races. As long as they don't have green skin.
Eat bolt gun!
Or, belong to a different religion. I don't know why anyone would call us racist. I'm a black priest, for Emperor's sake.
Even gods may die!
We don't hate any races, except orcs, and Eldar, and Dark Eldar, and Necrons, and Tau, because nobody likes dumbass weeaboo space communists. But at least they aren't trying to eat us like the Tyranids.
Glossing over all that lore that you don't need to understand. One such chapter of Space Marines are the Ultramarines, or if we're being honest, Ultra Smurfs, that are charged with exterminating the orcs on one of your manufacturing planets that are stealing your shit.
Clever.
I've been told that the reason the Ultramarines are the poster boys because blue is a lucky color, but in truth, I would prefer red. I would prefer Blood Angels to be the poster boys for the Space Marines, because have you seen Commander Dante? He is one of the coolest freaking Space Marines to ever exist, and he was named Lord Commander.
Of the damned orcs.
How important is this shit that they're stealing, you might ask?
Strategic value absolute.
So I'm guessing that's pretty important then?
Strategic value
Absolute.
Doesn't make things any clearer for the audience.
Strategic value absolute.
You occupy the role of Captain Titus, a soft-spoken junior officer voiced by the legendary Mark Strong.
I hope that he does voice him in the next game. I really do hope it's still Mark Strong, but if it's not, it's passable, it's forgivable, okay? Because not everyone, you can't keep voice actors often.
Joined by an OG sergeant and a turbo nerd subordinate named Leandros that constantly hounds you about not following a dipshit rulebook called a codex.
I hate this guy.
Wise, Captain. The Codex Astartes is
Shut
not
up!
support this action.
Shut the fuck up, Leandros. For the Emperor!
To be perfectly clear, I beat the entire game once in its default state and had so much of a blast, I beat it again immediately afterwards, only with mods out the ass. So instead of playing as a calm and collected Crypt Marine...
Crypt Marine. Come on, Badger.
I played as a Blood Marine, which, if I'm being honest, was a slightly different experience.
Die, scum! No prisoners! For the Emperor!
So if you're about to write this video off as heresy or confusing, I understand. I just grew up playing an RTS called Dawn of War and would rather play as a Blood Raven than an Ultramarine Smurf Blueberry.
None of this is really important.
Me
Let's
too.
start purging, and also
Me too.
spoiler alert, transitions are weird.
The orcs invading your planet and trying to steal your huge-ass Titan tank are a super diverse bunch, ranging from puny little orc children that shouldn't even exist. Hey, get back here. Don't run away from me. Why do you even
It's a Grok.
Why? Come here. Yeah! All the
I
way up
think,
to the
if I
orc
remember,
warboss
Grok's
Greenskull
manure.
himself, who was basically Shrek in his final form.
Alright, Frieza.
Giants! Steal my loot! I'll rip your guts right out your throat!
Equally as diverse are the weapons at your disposal to eradicate them with, from a dinky bolter pistol all the way to a heavy bolter, because when it comes to orcs, the caliber you're firing can never be too high.
Yep.
I'm gonna need a heavy bolter for this heresy.
The quickest way to purge through scores of orcs?
Melee.
Getting up close and personal is not only the fastest way to cut through a horde of orcs with single, double, and triple hit combos, but believe it or not, it's how Space Marines heal. Yeah, that's right, these guys are so draconian they don't need to pick up health kits, because the enemies are the health kits. Just crush some poor orc, mash your
That
stun
should
key
be the
until an
HP.
orange skull pops up, and execute his ass for a speedy and convenient health boost.
Die, heretics! Yum!
Your melee weapon of choice is a trade-off between speed and damage. Like the chainsword is agile and
Love
great
that.
for cutting things, while you're also simultaneously already cutting things, but it's less potent against heavy armor.
I am cutting things even though I was already cutting things.
On the other hand, or rather, with both hands, the Thunder Hammer handles as awkwardly as a bus, but it also hits like a bus, running a stop
My
sign in the school
favorite.
zone.
Hey, yo, Orc, are you Elon Musk? I'm about to send your ass into outer space!
And you've got a power axe in between those two extremes. And I can't explain why, but it feels like you're competing in a figure skating /
I remember that gif.
gymnastics competition when you use it, and I'm oddly okay with that. If you want to get fancy, you can melee 3 times and mash stun to curb stun multiple enemies and choke slam any motherfucker still standing.
Die, green skin!
So it's safe to say that when it comes to this move, the Emperor most definitely does approve.
I said, cease! I think I stunned too hard. I'm stuck in the terrain.
You found a bug.
Brother, I am stuck in the terrain. Where's Captain Diomedes when you need
I
him?
am pinned here.
Brother! Brother!
Brother, I am pinned here!
Eventually, you'll realize you can't
I
just
remember
slice
the
your way
quotes.
through the game. Chaos Marines and their pedantic piece of shit leader meme rock.
It's Memorock.
Cannot
Dude.
defeat me!
And you'll need to start firing guns if you want to survive. Or more specifically, bolters.
Bolters, brothers!
If you call this thing an assault rifle, I'm gonna break your arms, because it may be used like an assault rifle, only
It's
instead of
big.
firing a 223 the size of a crayon or a 308 the size of your finger, it fires a 998, which should actually be a 75 cal according to the lore. That's essentially like firing a self-propelled can of Red Bull that explodes after penetrating its target, making
It's basically a mini rocket launcher because in the hands of a space marine, it looks normally sized, but in the hands of a regular, and I've seen regular humans, Imperial Guardsmen or Inquisitors wield bolters, and it's freaking, you're carrying like a microwave in your hands with the largeness of it. So it's basically, if I'm saying this correctly, an RPG assault rifle.
it almost into an assault rifle RPG hybrid.
How many fucking robots does this place have? Are we invading an Imperium outpost or Amazon headquarters? I should have never canceled my Prime.
You have downward variants and upward variants, like the bolter pistol in case you've got
Bolt
something
pistol.
heavy in your hands, and my personal favorite, the Stalker bolter, which is the most
Sniper.
satisfying sniper rifle I've ever had the privilege of using.
Just like Sesame Street, you ready? And 1, and 2, and not 3, not 4, 5. I'm really glad that all the orcs saw that are about to be burned, because that was embarrassing.
If you
But the 10 million
absolutely,
people who
positively
watched,
have to
they
expand
saw
as
it.
many rounds as possible, the Storm Bolter does exist, which is like a double-barreled LMG.
It's a Terminator
It's cool
gun.
for the first 5 minutes that you use it.
The rate of fire of the Storm Bolter? Perfection. The accuracy of the Storm Bolter? Just put him anywhere that's remotely close to a target. I don't really give a shit.
But
The the Storm Bolter is basically a rapid fire gun, but in every iteration of the Terminators that holds the damn thing, it's always you're using like a semi-auto pistol, for goodness sake. It has rapid fire. Why not use that, Terminators, for goodness sake? You're cool looking, but that does not make sense. Why do you just full auto that bitch?
But better alternatives do exist, because the game gives you 4 slots consisting of a primary, secondary, long range, and
Fuck, there's way too many fuck!
I can't
Heavy weapons. I'm sorry for the constant pausing because I need to pause this as I tell you some important points. It's 4 slots if you're holding regular weapons, but if you take the Thunder Hammer, which I often do, you will be stuck with only 3 weapons. If you count the freaking hammer and bolt pistol, 1 weapon because you're gonna be wielding that. The storm hammer, along with any 2-handed weapons, will eliminate 2 weapon slots. So basically, you will lose your heavy weapons and your sniper rifle or whatever you put in the 3rd slot, melt a gun or anything. So you'll be stuck with only a bolt pistol and a bolter, and you'll have the thunder hammer. That's the sacrifice for it. And to me, sometimes it's worth it, but when I'm facing heavy enemies with tough armor, I'm really wishing for a freaking las cannon or melt-a-gun to help me.
The standard bolter and stalker bolter throughout most of the game, because sometimes one bolter just isn't enough to stop a horde of orcs trying to crump your ass into outer space.
I'm gonna need 2 bolters for this heresy.
But once I started fighting the forces of chaos, I dropped the stalker for the las cannon, or laser cannon.
Las
aka
cannon.
the Space Marine Spartan laser that was clearly superior, because here's me killing a Chaos Marine with a bolter.
Yes. I feel your pain.
The Emperor! I was starting to think he was invincible there for a second.
And here's me doing the same deed with a las cannon / laser cannon.
By the Emperor, that's powerful.
For your heavy slot, it's all about the Vengeance Launcher, which fires sticky nades that you can personally detonate, because who wants to launch rockets when you can launch vengeance?
A vengeance launcher. That sounds promising.
Melt-a-gun for me.
Flame-bursting shotgun exists, but all these
Melt-a-gun.
specialized weapons rip through ammo
Badger.
at an incredible pace, so honing your bolter skills is the way to go.
Purge them in flame! Burn in holy fire!
That's a
Navigating
waste.
the levels is obviously done by either running or rolling. Don't ask me how the hell these characters roll in this much armor. It's a long story.
It's
but
the lore.
channeling your inner Dark Souls character to kite enemies or get to objectives faster is a significant portion of your playthrough. It's even useful in boss fights, because who needs to kill orcs when you can just roll out of the way and have orcs kill themselves?
Here he comes! Here he comes! Here he Oh, baby! How does it feel to get crumped by a member of your own race?
They got
On that note, there are
steamrolled.
even these little Mike Wazowski-looking dudes called squigs that explode on impact and are arguably
that
better at
caught me
killing
off
orcs
guard.
than you are. So this theme of orcs killing themselves is not a new phenomenon.
Come on, Squig, merge!
Concern.
Merge into the group! Get in there! Get in there! Yeah!
But as I was saying, you won't always be running or rolling through the terrain, because eventually you'll gain access to a jump pack, which when combined
Yes.
with a thunder hammer is like an NBA dunk contest.
My favorite
mixed with
combo.
Super Smash Brothers.
Outside of LeBron, 5 seconds left. LeBron
And-
leaps. Oh my Emperor! LeBron James with a complete disregard for orc life.
Feel the Emperor's wrath!
This jump pack also happens to be wonderful at getting you places in record time. It's almost like using unbridled rage as a mode of transportation.
Corn.
I fucking love my commute.
And now that you know what you're swinging, shooting, and zooming around with, there's one thing that enhances everything, and that's called
Fury.
If being a Space Marine wasn't already super soldier enough, you can channel Fury, which builds up as you purge heretics, and well,
Deliver merciless justice upon the enemies of humanity.
that means your health surges. That means you hit harder. That
Feels
means
like an
you turn
Emperor
30
blessing.
seconds of hacking and slashing into a 10-second nightmare for any enemies in your general vicinity, punctuated with curb stomps that are extra earth-trembling.
Oh, that never gets old.
This Fury becomes more and more powerful as the game goes on, and there's even a marksman mode. So if you ever wanted to enter a slow-motion bullet time mode as a badass Space Marine, here's your shot.
Screaming.
And the only aspect of the game that I love more than the combat, movement, and gear are the objectives. I'm pretty sure every objective in the game is either 3 words or 4 words, and that's the way it should be.
Those guardsmen cannot survive that long. We find a way to destroy the gun.
Simple.
So you may be able to criticize some stretches of the game for being just running and rolling between elevators.
Hey, look, I'm on a lift. Does anybody know if repeatedly rolling or sprinting is faster? I've been at this 200 years, I still don't know. Hey, look, a lift.
But it focuses on what it's good at, which is violent purging and eradicating any life form that doesn't look like you.
Ah! Stop resisting! I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I would say sorry for hitting you so hard that the game
Glitch.
glitched, but I don't apologize to Xenos.
The story
Yep.
isn't all that important, seeing as the game only takes 5 to 6 hours to beat, and the best character is Orc Warboss Grimskull, because he's the only character that doesn't put me to sleep with her monologuing.
You got new friends now, Space Marine! I ain't finished with you yet, Space Marine!
but I'm finished with you.
Not that my second playthrough was any better, because with all the mods I was running, none of the story made any sense.
Second Lieutenant Mira, 203rd Cadian Regiment.
It is the Bane Blade! You are in command.
I'm all that's left, my lord. That damn gun. We don't have the numbers to make an assault, and as you might have seen, it's shooting down all our support vessels.
Engaging Warp Spider! Ah! A Warp
me, then.
Spider!
But at least you get to hook up with some Blood Ravens to cleanse an entire bridge in the end sequence, and given their history of kleptomania, I'm shocked they didn't steal anything.
Hippity hoppity, where the fuck is my property?
You're gonna hate the final boss fight with Mimroth, who's obsessed with becoming ascended for reasons that I won't spoil, but again, this game is about the gameplay, not about the story.
Damn it, I had something for this. Something, crashes way.
It's not about the plotting, it's about the
Purging!
The end. And that's about it. But before I go, I wanted to mention, as of me recording this video right now, it is $7 on Steam. This is in no way a sponsored video. I'm pretty sure Relic, the guys that made it, don't even exist anymore. Of course, Sega still exists, but I don't think Relic is around anymore. So from an unbiased position, if you have $7 on you that you're not going to spend on your next meal, I highly recommend that you pick it up. As long as you don't let a bunch of turbo nerds drown you in lore that takes lifetimes to understand, Warhammer 40k is fascinating. So again, $7, totally worth it. Thanks very much for watching, and be sure to tune in next time when we make fun of the salamanders.
No! Don't make fun of the salamanders. Because they're the most compassionate among the Space Marine chapters. If you ask me, they're the second best to the Blood Angels when it comes to compassion towards humanity. Besides the fact that the Blood Angels are suffering from multiple genetic issues from their gene seeds. So basically, they're fighting the enemy at the same time trying to fight themselves. Because if you don't know the lore, I will not explain here, because I don't know if YouTube hates certain words that comes out of anyone's mouth. I'm just saying that the Blood Angels have handicaps. They have practically two. And yet they are still surviving even in this Dark Imperium. Which the Ultramarines is always at the forefront. And the Ultramarines is always... But the Blood Angels are the ones who are much more freaking enduring compared to Depression Gilliman and his freaking... I'm sorry if you're a fan of Ultramarines, but it's getting tiresome that they're always the face of everything. Come on, give it to the Blood Angels or the Salamanders, because they're the most. Compared to everyone else, the Salamanders save more human lives than freaking the other Space Marine chapters who have contempt against humanity. I'm sorry you're seeing the turbo nerd in me, but I'm just saying, they are one of the best freaking Space Marine factions. Blood Angels number 1, number 2, Salamanders, alright? That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video and seeing the turbo nerd in me come out. I'll see you again in the next video, wondering what it may be. Until then, I'll see you again soon. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, and make sure that you get that assistance to me if you really want to. It's really up to you. It really does help, the likes, and I'll see you again soon. Buster here signing out. I think something's shaking.